Good morning, friends. It is a wet, drizzly day, and I'm gonna go check on the garden and then we'll go check on the chicks. So let's do it. You guys can probably appreciate this. This is how much rain we got last night. Who needs a rain gauge, right? I really need a better solution for this. Oh, cold and wet. Oh my gosh, there was so much water left in there. Whew. Well, we're off. So we're getting to that time of year where it is consistently getting chillier, which we're in zone 7A-ish in Tennessee. And so we don't get like too bad of a winter usually. Last year we had a really mild winter. I actually think this year it's supposed to be worse. The dog keeps getting in my greenhouse. Oh, look what she did. What a little nightmare. This girl. We like even had it rigged so that it would like stay with this bungee cord, but she's like gotten it off. She's like gotten it off the track. Kevin's gonna have to come out and help me with that, but that is so frustrating. Dogs. So frustrating. I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I get so irritated when animals just do not do what you want them to do. But I wanted to come out and check on my fall/winter bed and just see how everything's doing. I have definitely not been as diligent in coming out here and checking on everything. I feel like the fall garden for me is kind of like I feel like it just does better when you don't watch it, but I wanted to see kind of how my kale was going. I definitely need to do some thinning out that I haven't done already, so I'll show you guys what we're working with. We've gotten a lot of rain, so everything looks a little damp, but I'll show you what we're working with. All right, so this, I'm actually really excited about this. This is kale. It's 1,000 head kale, and it's like that really giant variety. You can see the dog has been in here because these are all broken. That's a kohlrabi, but she broke it, so that's super fun. I've got some chard here growing. I really need to thin this out. I'm so bad about thinning out. It just like feels wrong, but I know that it is not going to get very big if I let it continue to like pile up like this. I really need to get some of these out. Basically when I went through and sowed this the first time around, I sowed like 2 or 3 per hole, and then I just haven't gone through and thinned it out, which you can see is really working well for me. So I need to do that. I did thin out a couple of these kales. These are the dinosaur kale, or gosh, I'll link it. It's like the lacto something or another, but I thinned these out a little. I need to do that more actually. Pull this out. And like, so you could take this and you could plant it somewhere else. Obviously this is gonna be big, so I'm really just doing myself a disservice here, but I'll go ahead and do it anyways. But you could take that and that'll be fine. Like he'll come back around. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. It's actually my favorite type of kale, and I tried to grow it earlier this year and it just never took off. So I'm hoping that some of these make it. So yeah, I'm hoping that some of these make it. I've got a ton of kohlrabi. So another thing I did this year is I wasn't over the garden when it was time to plant for fall, but I was definitely not as committed as I was with the spring garden. I've actually never successfully done a full fall garden, so I don't know. I guess that played into what I did too, but I did not mark anything. So this bed is basically just a jungle of things that I'm gonna guess what they are and then pull them up. So I know I have kale on this side. I have the dinosaur kale, and then I have the 1,000 head kale, and then I wanna say I did turnips. I really need to look at, like, Google some leaf varieties, but I think that like these here are turnips, like this like more muted green. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think. And then I know that these on this end are radishes. So the radishes are doing really well. And this is funny, I actually posted this on Instagram a couple days ago, but we don't like raw radishes, so they're doing great, of course, because they're the one thing that we just don't really eat a lot of. But someone told me to ferment them, and that was really good. And I also saw a couple of recipes for pickled radishes that look really good too. So these are getting to be a decent size. I don't know if you can see, they're getting to be kind of big. You can see they're starting to like pop up a little bit. So those I really should have thinned also, and I did not do that. But radishes are a little bit more forgiving. They are smaller, and then they bulb up above the ground when they're ready to be harvested. And they'll get a little bit bigger. So I'm probably gonna leave those. I need to look up some recipes for fermenting, and then we'll go from there. But behind those, I have a bunch of carrots, which luckily I know what those are because they are carrots. And they look like carrots, but I have, so I have two types of kohlrabi. I'm pretty sure I planted turnips. I need to go back and look at my seeds and just triple check, but I'm thinking that the turnips are over here and then the kohlrabi, but I might be backwards. I might be backwards on that. I might actually be kohlrabi. It might be kohlrabi on this side. If you know, let me know. I'll Google it. But other than that, I do have some other things that are growing and doing well. My purple beans are towards the end of their life here. I don't know if you can see, there's still some that are doing okay. I'll pick those, but it's getting a little bit too cold. And we have this week actually, Friday night and Saturday night, it is supposed to be like 29 degrees. So we're officially gonna get the coldest that we've gotten so far. So these will probably not be with us much longer. I'm just gonna leave the bigger ones that are here growing, and I'm gonna let them just dry up a little bit, and then I'll bring them inside and I'll use them next year. My zinnias, kind of same story. I like pull you out this way. They are also looking a little bit worse for the wear, but that's okay. That's okay. My peas, on the other hand, are just now like starting to really climb. So they should be fine. They're pretty established. I think they'll be totally fine when it gets colder. And we don't get too incredibly cold, so I should be collecting peas well into the end of November. So that should be good. And I've got them on both sides here. They're coming up. So this bed, this was like my original fall bed. You can see it. It's looking a little bit rough. So I had a bunch of different types of cabbage that were in this bed originally, and they were just demolished by some kind of bug. So the carrots look good there, but the rest of it is, been better. I've still, like, some of this bed is like, nah, I don't think there's really anything else worth showing you other than this bed right here. I've got some kohlrabi or turnips, one of the two, growing over here. I have a ton of zinnias that are ready to be picked, so I'm gonna probably pick those today or tomorrow before it gets really cold, to bring them in just for one like final arrangement. You can see, look at all of these that are about to bloom. They're really pretty, so I'll be doing that. So hopefully, I don't know, get the most out of them before it gets too cold. This has just been so wet and muddy, and I love being outside and I love my garden, but when it's just wet and nasty, I'd rather be inside with a fireplace. But let's go check on the girls and see how they're doing. We actually totally changed their setup, and we may have gotten 6 more. So I don't know if you remember in my last video, but I was talking about the varieties that we got, and we wanted some white layers because we wanted kind of that really colorful basket, but they didn't have any white layers when we went. Well, Kevin went back just a couple days ago and they had white layers, so it's 6 minimum here in Tennessee. So we got we got 6 more. Luckily we have a friend who's gonna take a couple of those from us, because if you remember, I only wanted 12 to begin with. But you know, you live and you learn, I guess. So I'm gonna take you back there and we'll go check on the girls. I just had to say, how beautiful are these? Ignore my completely mess of a kitchen, but these are those flowers that I got locally. So pretty. Okay, so like I was saying, we changed the way that we had these girls set up. Shed some light on it. We changed the way that we had them set up. They were honestly just getting way too big for that dog crate. And we knew that was gonna happen quickly. I don't think we knew it was gonna happen that quickly, but we've obviously never had this many chickens. So they outgrew it really quickly. That was fine. We had a chicken tractor that we picked up that is a little bit more well suited for the number that we have. So I'll show you kind of what the setup looks like now, and you can kind of see how big the girls are getting. So this is the tractor trailer that we bought. So I actually bought this on Amazon. It was pretty affordable. You could definitely build something like this if you are handy. But if not, I think it was like less than $80. And we figure it'll be really good when we get meat birds too. It's really nice because it's got this, it opens from the top, which makes it really easy to grab them. And then it's just got plenty of room. So I think it's a 5 by 5. So that means it's what, 25 square feet, which is plenty for these girls as they are starting to grow and get a little bit bigger. Because we're raising them in the fall and winter, they're gonna need to stay indoors in some kind of a garage. We're gonna move them over to the land probably in the next couple of weeks, but they'll still be in the garage over there for a while. So yeah, if we were raising them in the spring, this would be different. We would probably put them out a little bit before they had all their feathers. As long as it was warm enough outside, they'd be totally fine. But because it's fall and winter, it's a little bit too cold. They're really little. So we're gonna make sure that they're nice and prepared before they go out into the elements. We were looking at them the other day and I was trying to figure out how many of these do we think are roosters. So we didn't buy any that are supposed to be straight run, but whenever you get chicks at, you know, Tractor Supply or Rural King or any place like that, you run the risk. If they're not sex linked varieties or breeds, then you definitely run the risk of getting a couple roosters. And I think we have a couple that might be like that brown one right there. I mean, that it's like twice the size of the others, and a little aggressive. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm hoping that they're mostly girls, but I'm guessing that we've got a rooster or two in the mix. So yeah, that's what's going on with us right now. Thank you guys for joining us. I really appreciate it. And if you're not already, make sure to check us out on Instagram, Uncommon Roots Homestead, and subscribe, like this video, give me a comment. We really appreciate you joining us on this journey.